Hi, my name is Sherry Hart, and this is an Idaho corruption testimonial about civil court corruption. And it started out in 2003. My husband and I purchased 8 houses. It was rental property in Pinehurst, Idaho. And the mortgage holder was American West Bank. It was a commercial loan. And during the whole time that we had the loan, it was always the same thing. We had it on auto pay, but there was always problems showing late charges, finance charges, assessment fees, and an interest rate that far exceeded the national average. And every time we tried to talk to somebody about this, they refused to take off the charges. And what recently happened was in 2011, in July, the loan comes of term. So when the loan comes of term, it's a commercial loan and you need to remodify it every 3 years. And this time, American West decided that they're not going to modify the loan. They wanted us to pay it off in full, and we did not have $75,000. We were both on disability at the time, and we had no way of coming up with $75,000. So they refused to modify it. They refused to work with us. We found out on the internet that American West Bank was going bankrupt. We contacted several attorneys, but they told us that because it's American West Bank and they treat their customers this way and we'll be going to Shoshone Court, we didn't have a prayer because they pretty much, Shoshone Court is financially influenced by American West Bank, which we found out to be true. So we put what was called a common law lien on the property because we felt that that would protect our equity. And when we went to court, they took us to court because we had a lien on it, because they planned to sell the property in April 13th at an auction trustee sale. So they took us to court to get the lien off, and the judge refused to even acknowledge that common law liens exist, even though we gave him the Idaho state statute, which is 3228-13-2, and that's the Idaho code for it. And so he still would not acknowledge that it existed, and he put it into a non-consensual status. A non-consensual means that it is a lien that doesn't have a state statute or federal statute, and that's not true. I had a state statute. And non-consensual is also so people cannot, put liens against judges or public officials, which we weren't doing either. It was a lien on our own property to protect our equity. But he still threw it the non-consensual. He refused to give us any rights. He said at the very beginning that he was ruling for American West Bank because they had damages and they need a speedy recovery. A $7 million bank, by the way. But poor disability people who were going to lose everything, their retirement, their life, their business, have nothing. So we told him this was unfair. He said he didn't care if it was unfair. And I made 3 complaints because we went to court 3 times. We put in also a judgment to reconsider, which only made him more mad. I pulled up right off of the Idaho website, idaho.gov. I pulled off all the laws, everything that support our case. He even asked me, where did I get this stuff? And that's when I said, Your Honor, you'd be surprised what you could find on idaho.gov. And he didn't care. It just made him upset. My friends noticed that he was upset with me, that I was, challenging his authority and bringing up law. And that's when he not only, they evicted us, destroyed our business, took our houses, and he charged us sanctions, American West's attorney costs, and fees, even though he knew we were disabled and we were exempt and we had a waiver of fees in. So we have $12,000, $12,612.89, and threatened us that if we, kept going back to court, because we're pro-se, we're frivolous, we'll keep doing these things. Obviously, we'll be charged each time we try to defend ourselves, $5,000. And he told us we wouldn't be allowed to appeal, and he did throw my appeal out, which he shouldn't even been able to see my appeal. It's supposed to go to the Supreme Court, I thought, but nothing worked the way I thought it did. The Judicial Council pretty much says that they don't see that he has broken any laws. But I haven't got anything back from them. I called them recently and said I will hear something in 30 days. So even though now we had to, after eviction and lost everything we own, could only leave with a few things that we could put in our truck, we were homeless, living in a tent for over a month before St. Vincent was able to help us, because we didn't even have gas money to leave, because it wasn't enough doing all that. They garnished our accounts and left us in the red, where we had to get a loan to pay off the account to close it. We had nothing. They left us with nothing. And that's not good enough. We still have now, in Maine, judgments. I came back to Maine, and there's judgments all the way to Maine against me. Judgments and liens against me. Now I have to go file bankruptcy. It looks like it just never ends. And we lost our $100,000 equity.